What's up, everybody? This is Tony, aka the Warrior Metaphysic. I am re recording this video because the first time I did it, I actually used an avatar, and I decided I really didn't want to go that route. I've been debating whether or not I wanted to put my face into place when it comes to YouTube, but especially as far as this content goes, I realized that it's not about me, it's really about the content, it's really about the message. I'm going through a pretty challenging time in my life right now, and coming across these spiritual TikToks really tends to help me get into a better space, help me get into a better vibration at times when I'm feeling low and I really need it. So hopefully it'll do the same for you. In this series, we'll look at different aspects of spirituality. Each episode will focus on a different aspect of spirituality. And in this particular one, we are looking at awakening. And a lot of people may be in the space of awakening or being awakened, and they may not realize what it is, what it feels like, why certain things are happening. And if you're in tune with what's going on in the world today, in the universe, I'm sure you feel how the energy is just different. Everything feels a little bit off, a little bit dystopian, and it's easy to fall into lower vibrations if you're not careful. So I found some clarity from a lot of these messages. It helped bring some things home for me. Hopefully, it'll do the same for you. So let's get into it.
8 signs you are in the middle of a spiritual awakening. Number 1, feeling lost and uncertain about your life's direction. This is one of the more earlier signs for you to look for, as it signals a change for something new. Number 2, feeling an intense urge for personal growth and development. There may be a deep reason why you question everything about your life right now, and it may be you're in the middle of a spiritual awakening. Number 3, feeling a strong connection to nature and God. This connection with nature and God is a sign that you may be becoming more sensitive about the world around you and more in tune with who you are becoming. Number 4, your suppressed emotions and trauma are starting to come to the surface. As you move through your spiritual awakening, it's not uncommon for your past traumas to be healed. This is God forcing healing because you can't move forward until you close the door on the past. Number 5, you are feeling a burning, a yearning for inner peace and stillness. As you are going through your spiritual awakening, you may want to just be alone. You may just want to turn the music off and turn the TV off or put your cell phone down. This is a sign you are going through a spiritual awakening. Number 6, you experience magical moments, kind of like deja vu. It's when everything starts just to make sense all of a sudden. This is a sign that you are going through or might be going through a spiritual awakening. Number 7, old habits, old practices seem to not really excite you anymore. There's something about growth that makes you look back at your past and accept that you are moved on. Number 8, you can see yourself growing right before your eyes. It's almost like you're having an out-of-body experience, watching yourself handle situations in ways that you recently did not handle. If you think you are going through a spiritual awakening, I want you to put 2 hearts in the comment section and tell me what the most difficult part of going through a spiritual awakening for you is. Also, I want you to consider following me because I give bits and tips on how to navigate through your spiritual awakening, your spirituality, your spiritual gifts, and many other aspects of your life that are crucial for your development personally, spiritually, and also financially. If you didn't know, now you know.
7 stages.
Facts. Shout out to Woods On for that one. Have you felt any of that stuff? I know sometimes for me, I get into a space where I really need to just turn off the TV, turn off everything, and just be in complete silence. I haven't felt like really being around a lot of people lately. Just be in a space where I can just be quiet, talk to the Most High, do some meditation. And I noticed that sometimes I was easily brought out of my peace by stuff that might be happening around me, things I may see online. If I start thinking too hard about life and what's happening. So if you identify any of those things that he said in that video, maybe you're in the middle of awakening of an awakening too, and hopefully it'll help you see where you are in the process. Let's go.
Spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening is a process and a progress. You cannot just wake up one day and say that you are awakened. Awakening is something that takes time. For some, it might take months. For some, it might take years. For some, it might take lifetimes, depending on how you deal with the universe. You don't choose to awaken. The awakening chooses you. They tell you that the universe is a creation, but the universal consciousness is the light. You are part of that light. Your spirit comes from that light. Each and every one of us is connected to that light. You are the universe experiencing itself. And what is awakening? Awakening is connecting with your higher self. Awakening is becoming one with the universe and nature. Awakening is aligning yourself with the oneness. For you to connect with the universe, with your higher self and the oneness, you need to pass the test of the universe. The test of the universe involves facing the darkness so that you can see the light. And this test involves stages. The first stage is called the awakening stage. This is the stage where you question your reality. Here you question the truth and everything that you have been told. There is a deep voice inside of you calling you to something great, but you don't understand it yet. This is the first stage of awakening. In this stage, you are not awakened. Many people are stuck in this stage, thinking that they are awakened. The second stage is called the isolation and the confusion stage. The voice inside of you starts becoming bigger and louder, and it starts to bother you. In this stage, people start to walk out of your life. This is the stage where your relationships start to crumble. In this stage, you start to lose yourself. And in this universe, you need to lose yourself in order to find yourself. This is the stage where you are stuck between your beliefs, religion, and spirituality. You don't know which one to follow. The third stage is called the death of the old soul. In this stage, the voice inside of you has become louder and dominated, and you have responded to that voice. In this stage, this is the beginning of facing the darkness. It is called the first stages of the dark night of a soul. In this stage, the universe starts to align you with your higher self. But for the universe to align you with your higher self, your old soul needs to be destroyed. And what is your old soul? Your programming, your beliefs, your name, and everything you have been told in your past. This is the stage where you need to become a new version of yourself. The fourth stage is called the silence, reflection, and illumination stage. In this stage, you have been transformed into a new version of yourself. Although you have been transformed to this new version, you still don't understand this new version of you. There is something inside of you that is still burning. Your old soul, your old memories, flashbacks, and your past, they are still haunting you. The voices are still in your mind. What you need to reflect and illuminate. And you are going to be compatible with this new version of yourself. The fifth stage is called purification and raising beyond duality stage. In this stage, you have become compatible with this new version of yourself. Everything has started to make sense now. You have started to attract people of your own vibration. In this stage, what you receive purification. Purification of the spirit, purification of the mind, and purification of the body. In this stage, you stop seeing things in duality mode. You stop seeing things in black and white. You stop seeing things in light and darkness. You stop seeing things in good and evil. You understand that everything has a purpose, and for everything to happen, everything has a meaning. The sixth stage is called aligning yourself with the oneness stage. In this stage, you have get out of the darkness. In this stage, you have started to receive the love, the peace, and the light. This is the first stage of illumination. This is the first stage of enlightenment. In this stage, you understand that everything is interconnected. People, animals, plants, and everything in this universe originate from the divine oneness. In this stage, you develop love and peace to everything, to people, to nature. This is called the stage of enlightenment. In this stage, the system is afraid of you. They don't want you to reach this stage. The seventh stage is called aligning yourself with the universe and your higher self. This stage, you understand the divine energy that is inside of you. You understand that everything you have been looking for has already been inside of you and not on the outside. This stage, you start seeing beyond the illusion of the physical world. You understand the meaning of life. You understand your purpose, your destiny, and everything that you're supposed to be. This is the stage of light. This is the completion of the spiritual awakening. Now, in this stage, you can say that you have been truly awakened. In this stage, you operate with both your crown chakra and your third eye chakra. You see people beyond the physical. You see people inside and outside. Which stage do you think you are in this journey of spiritual awakening? Let me know on the comment section.
Here's something else that...
Good question, people. Have you recognized any of these stages? And one thing I want to say about that too is it's not an overnight process. If you've been doing any sort of spiritual work, you know it can take years to go through these stages, and not every stage is fluid, and it's going to take different amounts of time to go through the various stages. So you might recognize different aspects of these different stages at different points when you're in different stages. It's not a linear path, it's an expansion, I think is what I'm trying to say here with all that. And like I said, it can take years unless you're like living in some ashram with the guru and you're doing like intense yoga and intense sadhana or something. Maybe it can speed up the process a little bit. But we all each unfold at our own rates, and the manifestations show up in different ways at different times. So leave me a comment below and tell me if you recognize any of the what's the word I want to use? Any of the quote unquote symptoms, for lack of a better word, or we'll just say manifestations of those different stages that both of those creators talked about. And shout out to Awaken, Awaken 044 over on TikTok for that one. Check them out. Let's go to the next one.
They don't tell you when you're having a spiritual awakening. They don't tell you about the sadness that happens, the sense of loss that you have, the depression that kicks in, the anxiety that kicks in, and even other mental health issues that come along with awakening. And the reason that these things come up is because when you go through this spiritual awakening, you feel everything. You feel more. You feel happiness at levels that you have never felt, and you feel sadness at levels that you've never felt. So in my awakening, the first thing that I awakened to was myself. And so when you awaken to yourself, you see yourself as you truly are. And sometimes that's a very sobering experience, because I started to recognize the low vibrational behaviors in me. And I looked at those and I became sad about that. I became sad about the people that I've harmed before and things that I've done that were not right. As if that's not enough, then you start having an awakening about the people around you, the people that are close to you. And that's another sad episode that happens. So you have the sadness from yourself, you have the sadness from the people around you. And then the next step is you start looking at the world. You start looking at this planet. You feel the pain of this planet. You feel the pain of people. As you walk around, you can literally feel the energy of other people. And so all of this feeling that you're having can become overwhelming to your system, which is why we go into the places of depression or anxiety or sadness or feeling a sense of loss. It's actually normal. I want you to know that if you're having a spiritual awakening, it is going to affect you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It's going to affect you because you don't become in tune with this world and not be affected by it. And so I remember going through this process, and then I also remember just feeling like, oh my gosh, I just want to go into a cave and just stay away from everybody and become isolated. And I did do that for a while, but I also had to realize that that was a season and I was not supposed to stay in isolation, because awakening to higher levels of consciousness is not given to you for you to go into a cave and die. It's given to you so that you can remember who you are, so that you can alchemize and transmute all the pain, all the issues, everything, and for you to turn all of that into light. Now, that light is not meant to stay in a cave. That light is meant to be shined throughout this world. Not in a way where we force light into people's faces. We simply just walk through our lives shining the light. And whoever is interested in that light, they'll come to you.
7 things that nobody tells you about awakening that would be so helpful to know. Number 1, everything is going to break down in your life. Relationships will end. You might get fired. You might have to move. Appliances will stop working. So many of the comforts and things in your life that you're used to are just going to stop working the way that you know them to be, and that's because you're going through a pretty significant transformation process. Number 2, you're going to think you're going crazy. Things aren't going to make as much sense. You're going to think thoughts that you never thought before. You're going to see things in a way you didn't see them before. You're going to feel like there's something wrong with you because everything in the world doesn't vibe with you the way that it used to. Number 3, and this is a really big one, is that all of your traumas are going to be unearthed. Things that have been hidden, things that you've buried, things that you might not have even known were there. Everything is going to come to light. And so you're going to need to be able to look at things that might feel very uncomfortable, but that's the only way that you're going to be able to transmute them, is if you actually look at them. Number 4, you're going to feel really isolated. You're going to feel alone. People around you aren't going to understand what your perspective is, and you are going to appear different to them, and so they may even be really repelled by you. So it's going to feel lonely, it's going to feel isolating, but just know that it's part of the process, and you will return back into having connection with the world around you. Number 5, you are going to develop heightened sensitivities. That may be to things like sound or light. It could be energetically or mentally. You could feel things deeper. You might be able to feel other people in ways that you haven't before. It could be in terms of your empathy or your compassion. It could actually be physically, where you're more attuned to energy around you. But everything within your field is going to be heightened because you are expanding your capacity of energetic resonance and attunement. Number 6, your perspective is going to shift. Things that you were really into before might not make as much sense. You might not be as interested in food or sports or politics or other hobbies that you had. And all the same, there's going to be new things that enter your field, maybe new types of study or things that you never thought about or were interested in. You're now going to see in a new light. And number 7, there's no going back. You can't put the cat back in the bag. Once you start to expand and break through to recognize that you're not a human being having a spiritual experience, but a spiritual being having a human experience, that's not when your life ends, it's really when it begins. And that's the start of the expansion. So as you go from caterpillar to butterfly, you're going to dissolve in the chrysalis, but really the fullest expression of your life is just around the corner, and there's no backwards, there's only forward.
3 signs you are in a spiritual awakening. Number 1, you feel disconnected from people that you used to love. Conversations that used to feel comfortable now feel very heavy. You're not being mean. Your spirit is shifting frequency. You're not on the same wavelength anymore. you're no longer available for surface level energy. Number 2, you're more sensitive, but also more bold. You feel everything deeper: joy, pain, injustice. And while your heart is softer, your voice is getting stronger. Because God's not just waking you up to feel, he's waking you up to move. Number 3, everything is falling apart and it feels right. The job, the routine, the identity, it's all unraveling. And deep down, you know it's supposed to, because spiritual awakening is not about adding more, it's about shedding everything that was never really meant for you. If you are in the middle of this right now, you're not alone. You're being realigned. This is why I wrote a piece called Love, to give you language for the internal chaos that you've been feeling. It's an ebook and it's linked in the bio. Also, I've created a mini course for you. It's the Imagination for Empaths mini course. This helps you master your spiritual tool that holds it all together, your imagination. Tap the link in my bio and grab both today. If you're serious about waking up and living your life full of purpose, send me an email. I can't wait to work with you. Now, if you didn't know, now you know.
Now you know. Question for you. So have you ever had an experience? It can be something just completely fell apart in your life. You lost your job. You lost, I don't know, a significant other, your wallet, whatever, right? And even as much as it sucked to go through that in that moment, you still have this knowingness that everything will be okay. Everything will be fine. It'll work out. Even though you don't see the path, you don't see exactly how. But in that, if you just succumb or release the resistance to whatever the thing was that's no longer serving you, because that's why it left, it's no longer serving you. And being able to trust that the higher power already has it worked out. You'll get the answers in due time. And I'm saying that to say, I realize that when I forget that is when I fall into turmoil, when I fall into doubt, when I fall into confusion and worry. One thing I appreciate about the awareness of being spiritually awakened is that you can remind yourself of those truths. And one wonderful thing is the more often you do that, the less you have to do it. What I mean by that is once you get into the practice of releasing and knowing and growing, you'll have fewer times where you're in doubt, fewer times where you're in worry. And as you get more proof that things work out if we allow them to, you just start vibrating higher and higher. At least that's been my experience. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Let's go to the next one. And shout outs to Woods on that one. Definitely want to check out his ebook.
So when I started this journey about 2 years ago, I thought, oh wow, I want to be a manifestation coach. This is so exciting. I can create my reality. And I started to create my reality. And then Spirit was like, go deeper. And I went deeper and I started to really see my power, and then see the power that I could manifest good, and then I could manifest horrific hell. And I stopped posting in December because I have been going through a dark night of the soul, spiritual death and rebirth. I have been deconstructing my childhood religion because that I know within my soul has crush the divine feminine, and the divine feminine is rising. She is healing, she is rising, and she is remembering her worth. And I don't know if any of you are going through this on this spiritual path and this eclipse and then Mercury retrograde. They all show you what's holding you back, and it's been very clear. What's been holding me back is fear. Fear of what people are going to think, what people are going to say when I come out of the spiritual woo-woo closet. When I really step into who I am, it's been fear of rejection. And this has been from childhood. But this video is me holding myself accountable. And I don't want to be someone who just posts the good stuff, just posts the mountaintops, because we have enough of that shit. We have enough of that shit in the spiritual community, and it's not true. The truth is shadow and light. You have to have both. And so, to be honest, I'm scared, but I know this is my path to heal from the guilt and the shame that religion taught me to be ashamed to be a woman, to be ashamed of my sexuality, to crush my power. But I'm healing that, and I'm seeing amazing things. And I just love y'all so much, and I just wanted to make this video to be open and honest and where I've been at, and not just show the highlight reel, the mountaintops, but show the valleys and show the struggles, because that's true authentic. I love watching people who are just completely themselves. It terrifies me, but that's what makes you more magnetic. And if you're going through a spiritual awakening, I just want you to know I love you, and you can do this. Ask for signs from your angels, spirit guides. Well, I'm getting signs every day. And just breathe and find love and gratitude in your heart. You can do this. We can do this together, and we're going to create an amazing, amazing new earth. But how we create an amazing earth is we have to go within and heal and face the shadows and face the dark parts of ourselves, because that's a reflection in humanity. And until we do that, we're not going to see the world that we want to see. And so we must go within, face the shadows, and love them, and be grateful for them, and what can we learn, and not just why is this happening to me. So I just wanted to hold myself accountable, and then also encourage those on the spiritual path. I love you.
If you're on a journey.
Amen for that one. And we're going to definitely dive deep into, is it accountability? There was accountability. She mentioned something too. I want to say, I don't know if it was reincarnation or something, but I'm really excited because we're going to dive deep into the spiritual aspects of like reincarnation and that sort of stuff. So more videos to come, more deep dives into specific areas, and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Spiritual awakening, and you keep blipping in and out of higher consciousness, there's two main reasons this happens. Number one is that you're basically acclimating your body to holding a higher frequency. So like, you're not going to be able to do it all the time right away. It's going to be like periods of it, and then you'll kind of have to drop it. It's like building stamina, building muscle to hold that higher frequency. So it won't be able to be held all the time. It might blip in and out for that reason. The second reason is because sometimes you're human. I hope that makes sense when I say that. Your human needs to go gather experiences in order to integrate and process and use to level up. So you might find that like you have a huge awakening and it brings you to a certain level of awareness, and then you kind of go back to sleep for like possibly years, and you're like, why did that happen? But think of what you experienced during that time. Think of the like content that your life gave you in that time, and what it taught you, and how you can use it to level up in consciousness, because that's kind of what we also do with those sleeping periods, is gather things to process, essentially, to work against what's inside of us and accomplish the calibration that we are trying to. the whole process of awakening is at the beginning basically a huge thing of purging fear. So purging fear is like hard work. It's big work, and it's gonna be a lot. So it's kind of kind to give yourself breaks and to not worry too much about that, because if you purge fear too fast, it can sometimes lead to things like psychosis, and which is just where there's like too many frequencies stirred up in the body. There's too many fear frequencies stirred up in the body, and it's impossible to process them all at once. So go gentle and easy on yourself, and that's the best way to integrate. Don't worry too much if it's not like constantly going up on the roller coaster, because those down periods are actually when you like, each one of those is going to like give you more momentum to go forward. So you need those, or you're just gonna like kind of like fall back down on the roller coaster. You need those to like actually give you the momentum and the character to get up, because it doesn't really get easier, it gets crazier.
First, it starts with just
Yes. And I wanted to speak on that. In the video prior to that is, it's not always going to be sunshine and roses, right? We all know that. Anyone who lives on the planet, especially anyone who does any level of spiritual work, knows that it's not like you get to some place one day where everything is just wonderful. Now, your life will get better and better. You will be happier and happier naturally. But even that's not always a constant state. And I'm saying all this to say that one of the things I really realized, and one of the things that I'm really working on right now, is it's very easy in those in your quiet, in your solitude, when you're at home, or when you're around the people that you love most, or whatever, your pets, to reflect on situations like your interactions with somebody, or you think about a situation and how you could have handled it differently. Or like, there have been times where I might have had an argument or a disagreement with someone, or said something I unintentionally said something that hurt someone's feelings. Or those times when you might be dealing with stuff at work, you may be dealing with stuff out in the place where you have to go often, and you think about how to be better in those situations, or we recall past hurts, or we decide that we're going to, the next time someone cuts me off in traffic, I'm gonna try to see it this way, or the next time someone says something that offends me, I'm gonna do it that way. But as soon as we're back in that situation, as soon as we get up Monday morning, that first car cuts us off, it all goes downhill, right? Or we forget this wonderful meditation session we had this weekend, or last night, or whatever. And what I've learned is, it's nice to, talk to God, talk to yourself, and resolve all that stuff in the quiet time. But the work actually comes in your interaction with people. How are you going to show up the next time that happens? And when it does happen, are you going to stop and reason and do something slightly different? Even if you don't, handle the whole situation like a saint, did you do something better? When that person said this cross thing to you, did you treat them differently than you would have? Did you internalize it? Did you step away? Did you count to 10? Whatever it is to get you to that next higher place of vibration, excuse me, that's what doing the work is. And I'm not saying that to be preachy or whatever, but I realized that for me, it's very easy to go into these wonderful meditations, or to listen to uplifting music, or even, watch videos like this. But the moment resistance shows up, i.e., somebody pisses you off or whatever, we revert back to the same. The work is in the interaction. The growth is in our interactions with people, in those moments when we're in the thick of it. That's the only way we're going to grow past the resistances that show up in our lives. So let's go to the next one. Just wanted to say that.
comfort, not pain, not panic. It's just that quiet feeling when you know something ain't right. But then you start asking questions they told your ass not to ask. The more you ask, the more the veil starts slipping. Our food don't hit the same. Conversation's starting to feel hollow, and your soul It's like it's starving. Try to distract yourself, numb yourself, even try to pray it away. The old prayers don't reach the same sky. Start losing people, but it's not rejection, it's redirection. Version of you that needed them, gone. Now the nights get long, the mirrors get louder. Now your triggers, they start testifying. That's when you realize healing ain't pretty, it's actually gritty. Screaming in silence, smiling through your ego deaths. Just when you think you breaking down, you realize you breaking free. Intuition sharpens, senses stretch. You feel truth before it's spoken. You see patterns, cycles, and code. Now you can't even unsee what's been revealed. And the burden of knowing becomes the blessing of becoming. Awakening is not just realizing that the system is broken. It's realizing that you were never meant to fit in it in the first place. Now you walk different, you talk different, and you breathe different. Every day you die to who you were, to remember who you came to be. Happy healing to all of y'all. For anybody walking this path, I'm proud of you. Keep going and stay strong. Always remember to purge, aka cry when you need to. Or scream or kick, whatever it is you need to do. I'll get in them comments and let me know your thoughts. As always, peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
The most spiritual thing you could do is be a fully present human being. Remembering that you're not a human that has a soul, but a soul that has a human is just the first part. The road doesn't end there. And in many ways, that's actually where it just begins. Remember that as this infinite, eternal source creative energy, you chose to be here. You chose to be human. You chose to have this experience. Many people that go through a spiritual journey and awakening discover the capacity of their true self, and then they want to float away. But that completely defeats the point of choosing to be human. You have all of infinity to be swirling around in the infinite non-physical bliss consciousness. But only now, as a human, do you get to feel the experience of physicality. Do you feel the challenge of contrast and duality? The pain from heartache or betrayal or loss. All perceptions that you won't feel outside of the human body. It can feel really challenging sometimes, really painful. But that's what you signed up for. You go to see a horror movie, it can be really scary. You go to see a drama, it can be really sad. It's the same with life. You came here to feel, you came here to experience. That's the magic of duality, polarity, and contrast. You can only create love from fear. You can only create forgiveness in betrayal. You can only create light in dark. That's the game. And that's how we find gratitude in our challenges, because we know that everything we experience is here for us to learn, to grow, to evolve. If it ever feels too heavy, just pause, take a break, slow down, come back to your breath, come back to your heart, zoom out. Remember you're the soul. Remember you're eternal. Remember the infinite nature of your spirit, the infinite nature of your love. And then come back, ground in, feel the feelings, be fully present, look people in the eyes, slow down when you eat, taste the food. If you have pain, feel it, allow it. There's nothing bigger than you. There's nothing outside of you. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing greater than your ability to expand your capacity, generate your resilience, activate your will, dance in the rain, tell people you love them, play with your kids, lay on the grass and look at the sky, call your mom. Appreciate this while you have it, because you won't have it forever. This is what you came for.
They don't tell you that your spiritual awakening will feel like death at first. You lose your old identity. You lose your appetite for things that once comforted you. You start shedding people, patterns, places, and it feels like grief. But it's not that you're lost. It's that you're no longer pretending. Your ego will fight for control. Your mind will beg to go back, but your soul, it already knows the way forward. It's not a breakdown, it's a sacred ending, a death of false self. And if you're standing in that fire right now, stay, embrace it, feel it, because this is where the real you is rebirthed.
I keep seeing these videos of people talking about how hard of a life it is to be spiritually awakened. And it's unfortunate to hear that. Like, I don't believe that whatsoever. And either they're just trying to be trendy about what's popping up on the For You page, or they're actually struggling with the awakening, which I'm not going to say it's easy, but it, like the way they talk about it, you know, it makes it seem like they regret waking up. And I don't think you should regret having an awakening. Like, it's beautiful to come to the realization of the truth of what this life is, what the other realms are about. And I understand that it gets lonely, you know, and it's hard. You can't really talk to a whole lot of people about this, but that's why we have communities like this one where you can dive in, you can talk to other people in the comments about it, you can talk to me about it. It doesn't have to be lonely unless you make it lonely. I understand, you know, you might not want to go out and hang out with your normal friends anymore, but it's a change of lifestyle. It's not going to be the same as it was before, because like it can't be. You can't live that life and live this one, because they don't resonate with each other. They're not on the same frequency. Therefore, you can't live in both worlds at the same time. You have to choose one or the other. And that doesn't mean you can't go hang out with friends. Like you can still go hang out with friends. You just probably won't enjoy the conversations as much, or you won't enjoy their energy as much, or the way they talk about other people as much, because that's kind of a huge conversation topic, is talking about other people negatively. But, you know, you can always try and go hang out with people. I have a nice little group of friends. It's a very small group of friends that I'm able to hang out with and really enjoy our conversations, because we get deep with them. They're not just like surface level convos. But again, that's only a couple people. This is not like a massive group of friends. But I am okay with that. I have been a recluse and, you know, I don't know what the word is. I can't think of it right now. A homebody, or I don't know. I haven't cared to have friends ever. Like, that's not something that has ever been on my agenda. Having friends has not been something that I care to do. Having one or two really, really, really close, deep friends, yes, I've always found that so much more appealing than having 30, 50, 80, 100 friends. Like, that doesn't appeal to me. Like, that's too much to keep up with. You got to go hang out with someone every day to keep up with any of those friends. And at that point, which ones are actually your friends and which ones are just acquaintances? I don't know.
And then where would you have time for you if you're doing that so much?
If you have that many friends, good on you. I love it. But I don't understand it. I can't comprehend it, and I'm okay with that. I like having this solitude of life. I enjoy this awakening that I've gone through, that I'm still going through. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, I absolutely love it. And I hope you do too. And if you're one of those people that is struggling so hard about this change of life, just know it's for the better, and you're going to get through it. And there are people out there. There's communities like this one out there. Just go find them. And I hope you do. I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope you're having an amazing awakening. I know I am. I will talk to you soon. Have a great night, or day, or whatever it is. Bye.
This here is exactly what a spiritual awakening feels like. Let's hop into it.
Now, to reconnect to your earthly body.
Whoa, that's me. Thank you. What am I doing with my life? I'm alive! I'm alive! Free yourself! It's beautiful!
Whoa, he got back just like that? So this is all I have to do to get back to my body?
So this scene right here is from the movie Soul, and it perfectly describes what a spiritual awakening feels like. And I love this movie so much because of the way they break down these spiritual aspects. So right here in this scene, you can see that this dude is in the office. This represents the Matrix, and he's lost in the Matrix. So after his spirit jumps in his body, or after he has the spiritual awakening, or after his spirit reconnects with his physical body, he jumps up and he screams, "I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive," and he wipes the computers off of the desk, meaning that he's done with the Matrix. He's done doing mindless bot shit, you know what I'm saying? He clearly goes on to say, "What am I doing with my life?" And he wipes the computers off of the desk and he screams, I'm alive, free yourselves." Meaning that he was just freed from the Matrix, by a spiritual awakening, and this is exactly what happens. I also like how in this scene, he also goes around knocking computers off of other people's desks. And this is kind of how it is when you have a spiritual awakening. You want other people to feel what you're feeling. You want other people to see what you're seeing. So you kind of go and disturb their sleep. But my overall message here for making this video is the fact that people can be so caught up in the system, in the matrix, to the point where they absolutely disconnect from their spirit and from their soul, leaving them as a lost soul or a wandering spirit. And that's about 90% of this population, because they are so caught up in the system and disconnected from their spirit and soul. So for anyone in the beginning of their spiritual journey, or for anyone wanting to learn more information, go check out my ebook bundle, the Advanced Quantum Mastery ebook bundle. I literally tailored that whole ebook bundle to give you all the internal groundwork you need to actually start implementing the success you know you should be experiencing. So if you're spiritual, serious, and ready and receptive to change your life, go get that ebook bundle. It's definitely going to help you. I upload banger content just about every single day, so make sure you like and follow for more content.
8 sign.
I absolutely love that last clip. I'm alive, I'm alive. Hey, we're all alive. At least that's how we want to feel. So yeah, these are some of the best spiritual TikToks to help you get into alignment and understand the process of awakening. At least understand it a little bit more. Hopefully it gave you a little bit more clarity, maybe answered some questions you had, clarified some things, filled in some gaps, or you learned some new information. And again, I hope you enjoyed it. Shout out to the amazing TikTok creators for dropping those gems. Please do go check them out. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but that last clip was from Quantum Shift Academy. Go check them out on TikTok. And tune back in here for more spiritual and enlightening TikToks, where we'll, like I said earlier, get into different areas of spirituality in each episode. In the next few episodes, we'll probably talk about, look at TikToks around harnessing gratitude, forgiveness, that deep dive into forgiveness, abundance, recognizing how to recognize what your spiritual gifts are. So much more. I think I mentioned earlier, like reincarnation. That's a whole deep dive. That's a whole thing for me. I'm so fascinated about a whole concept of reincarnation, but particularly little kids and people who have come back to this lifetime and can point to other mind-blowing instances of their past lives. Find myself a little bit envious. I wish I remember mine. And that's not to say that I'm 50-50. That's not to say that I'm 100% like, oh, I believe in I don't know. I don't know if it's real or not. And because I don't, I love asking the question. I love looking for the proof. I love looking for the signs of whether or not it is. So if it sounds good to you, you want to get into more of that, get on this journey together with me, please comment, like this video, subscribe to the channel for more spiritual gems to come. There's so many different subject areas and aspects of spirituality that I like to cover. And I think that's pretty much what this channel is going to be about for now. Maybe in the future that might evolve to some extent, because I just have so much that I want to like share and discuss and explore, with other people. And I think this is a good medium to do that. And if you stayed to watch the end of this video, I really appreciate it. Again, I'm Tony, the Warrior Metaphysic, and I'll catch you on the next one. And until next time, be well. And again, thanks for watching. Peace.